Hello and welcome back to Exothermic Plays Games. I'm Exothermic and I'm back with another installment of my necessarily pointless ranking series, where I answer the question, why do I like Splendor? As you may have noticed, this is a bit different than my normal kind of content. When I set out to make this channel and I ranked my 366 favorite video games of all time, I had a rule where they could not be, amongst other things, simply digital versions of physical board games. Well, I've decided I no longer care about that rule. This is, of course, the digital version of Marc-André's 2014 hit board game, Splendor. As I start to layer some tabletop experiences into the channel, you can probably expect some to be physical versions of the games, but most of them will be digital, just for ease of recording essentially. But that being said, at least for most of these games, physical is the way to go, and that's certainly true of Splendor if you can get a group of people together to play with you. Also, I want to touch on the ranking for the game. I decided to work these board game rankings into the video game rankings I already had been doing, and games are games after all. So with that out of the way, let's actually talk about Splendor. So what is Splendor? It's a set collection engine building game for 2 to 4 players where you race to be the first person with 15 points. On your turn, you can do one of 3 things. You can pick up gems, you can buy a card, or reserve a card. With the gems, you can grab 1 each of up to 3 different colors, or 2 of a single color. If there's at least 4 of that color remaining, that is. Any less, you can't grab them. Reserving a card allows you to set aside 1 card from the market and grab a gold piece, which acts as a wild card for the gems. The importance of these gems, however, is that that's how you buy cards, which is how you're able to get points. If you look at the market in the middle of the board here, each card has a cost listed on the left side, and that's how many gems you have to pay of each color. The bottom row of the market is generally very cheaply acquired, but not worth many points, if any at all. The middle row is more expensive, but with bigger rewards, and that continues to be true for the very top row as well. So that's the set collection part of things, but how is Splendor an engine building game? With each card that you buy, not only are you potentially earning points, you're also providing permanent discounts to your future cards. My favorite, though not necessarily always the best strategy to use in Splendor, is to buy up just tons and tons and tons of these cheap cards at the bottom and occasionally buy a couple of the mid-cost cards. The action economy provided from later in the game, being able to grab a card every single turn without having to stop to grab more gems, sets me up for the second way to score points: nobles. Off to the side here, we have cards that have portraits of people on them, and a number of different colored cards that are listed on that card as well. If you're the first person to get at least that many of those cards, you can grab that noble and score their points. In this particular game, it worked out well for me, and I was able to snag a ton of these nobles with continuing to work on my steep discounts. But it's risky, because if someone else grabs them before you do, that's a lot of actions that didn't result in any direct points, and you'll likely be behind. There's other strategies like trying to secure very big point cards, like if something requires a ton of one color, then you can just sit on all of it while locking away every other player from that color entirely, then reserve the card and buy it with all of that color plus some gold for huge points. Do that a couple times and it might be enough to actually win while everyone else is working around the chip shortage. And this all brings me to the ranking. Splendor is my new 143rd favorite game. I really like Splendor. This puts it right between Overcooked 2 at 142 and Roller Coaster Tycoon at the new 143, with some other nearby titles being Tetris at 148, Marvel Ultimate Alliance at 141. It's so great for its simplicity of mechanics, but depth of strategy. The fact that the game is such a quick teach and then people are immediately rolling with it is of huge importance to me, and it works just as well at each of its player counts. I will say that one of its downsides, and maybe this is a skill issue, is that if I'm working towards a particular strategy or card and then someone takes that out from under me, I can find it difficult to recover or pivot at times, and that largely is based on what's remaining in the market. But I do really want to touch on how much better the game is physically than digitally. It's all the same game, but the components are phenomenal in the physical version. The chips have this really great poker chip feel, and just sitting around a table with a group of people playing this game is such a smoother experience. Not only is it easier, at least to my brain, to track what actions people are taking and think about counterplay, like for example, making sure that someone can't take 2 red if they want to do that by keeping red under that 4 count I mentioned. It's also just more fun. And this is true, I think, of most board games, but it's especially true when there's great components. I do want to mention that with as much diversity of strategy as there is in the base game, there's a few expansions for Splendor as well, and while I've still yet to play them, I hear they add a lot more variety. Still, the base game is already really good and feels quite complete, which is why I've never felt the need to add more rules and options to the game, despite playing the game dozens of times. And the very last thing I have to add is that I recorded this on PC with the Steam version, which one of my siblings owns and shared via the family library feature, but most of my dozens of games played digitally have been on my phone, which I permanently keep installed because of how great it is to play during flights. If you're looking for a great offline game to play on your phone with solid AI, Splendor is terrific for that. But that's me for today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you're part of the Patreon, this game could certainly be in the mix for multiplayer nights. So heads up on that front. But I am heading out, so enjoy the rest of your day, and goodbye.